I want to give you a quick disclosure. I do own GoKartMasters.com. I sell these go-karts. I'm giving you a true, honest review on this go-kart. If you're looking at a TrailMaster midsize go-kart, then I'm sure you're wondering, is this the right size for your kid? What all can it handle? What are the pros and cons of this go-kart? And how long is it going to last? I know you know how to read the spec sheet yourself, so I'm just going to really quick rapid fire go over some of the specs of this go-kart. We've got a full roll cage, 7 horsepower engine, CVT, which is basically an automatic transmission, 16-inch rear tires. We've got fenders, all 4 tires, LED headlights, horn, electric start, and manual start backups if your battery dies. We've got about a 1-gallon gas tank. You'll get 3 or 4 hours of riding if you fill that tank all the way up. This is a clone of a Honda GX160 engine, which means it's very reliable. Parts are very widely available. We stock all of the parts right here in our own warehouse, so you don't ever have to worry about not being able to get your parts. If you buy from Go-Kart Masters, you get a 12-month bumper-to-bumper warranty on any manufacturer defect. That includes shipping damage and any defect while you're riding it for the first year. I'm sure you're curious about price. I can't say that in this video because really the prices fluctuate. Every 3 to 6 months, the manufacturer adjusts the prices according to the economy or their new inventory. But generally speaking, you've got this Mid XRX-R, which is a reverse model. The only difference between this and the XRX model is going to be this reverse gearbox. You're going to have a shifter that's forward, neutral, and reverse on this one. But if you don't get the reverse model, it's just going to be the engine, no gearbox, crank it up, and go. The reverse model is typically about $300 more than the non-reverse model. If you want reverse, go ahead and buy it because it's going to cost you close to $1,000 to try to add it after the fact because you need all kinds of parts, but then you're also going to have to do some fabrication because the frame is a little bit different. So don't trick yourself into buying this without reverse, thinking you'll add reverse later. We've got these bucket style seats with the headrest built in, a 5-point racing harness to really keep you in there nice and secure. We've got normally there is a canopy top on this. You get some shade protection. It's water resistant, not necessarily waterproof, but if you're riding out the sun or the rain, you're gonna get that added protection there. We've got an oversized steering wheel, makes for easier turning. On the reverse models, you have this easy forward, neutral, reverse shifting. All right, pull your feet out for a second. We've got a gas pedal and a brake pedal. I like that they're spread apart so kids don't get confused. Hydraulic brakes. It does come with a parking brake. That's what that little latch is. We actually don't particularly like that thing. It tends to flip forward, catch the brake, and then people think that their go-kart is broken down or won't move. It's usually just the parking brake. I recommend just taking it off because it's a pain. It comes with these rubber foot pads, just gives you a little bit of grip so you can put your foot down when you're holding on. Spring style shocks, these really tall heavy duty spindles, and fairly long A-arms for this size kart, which means it's going to absorb a lot of the shock and it's a comfy ride for off-road because you're going to be hitting that terrain. We've got a rack and pinion steering. That means inside this steering box, there is a long metal rod with grooves in it. And here at the base of the steering shaft, there is a gear. So when he turns the steering wheel, he doesn't need a lot of strength because these gears are going to do all the leverage for him. It's very easy for him to turn back and forth really smooth and really easy. For the electric start, we've got keyed power here. We turn it on. We've got a choke plunger here at the dash so nobody has to be working at the engine. We can pull that, electric start here. That'll crank up real easy. We've got a horn button. It's nice and loud. Parents, if you get annoyed, it's super easy to reach down here to the wiring harness and unplug those horns so they're not beeping at you all the time. Then we've got this easy push kill switch. You push and hold, turns the go-kart off, and the key turns the go-kart off. We've got on and off light switch, easy to operate. Don't leave your key on. Don't leave your headlights on. You'll kill your battery. But if that happens, there's no need to worry. This go-kart does come with a pull start backup, which means if your battery is dead, weak, missing, any of the above, here we've got our pull start. You pull this recoil just like a lawnmower, it cranks right up. You will need somebody up there to operate the choke lever, so you'll have to have your kid in the cart, but it's really nice that you have that. You don't always have to worry about it. You will have to keep this on a battery tender or a battery maintainer. We recommend buying one, keep it on that. Power sports batteries are just notoriously bad for not holding a charge. Once you kill them completely dead, it's very difficult to get them to hold a charge again, and they don't particularly like cold weather. Now, ideally, and how the factory rates this go-kart is from ages 8 to 12, but this kart is going to fit a lot more than that, just depending on the size of your kid and whether or not the adults want to ride it. So the average size 8-year-old is going to fit in this go-kart, reach the pedals, reach the steering wheel, and have the ability to handle all the different controls at once. If you have a really tall 6 or 7-year-old, or a 6 or 7-year-old who is experienced and they've grown up on ATVs and things, they'll be able to just lean forward and push against the seat belts here and still be able to reach all the controls. So that's really a preference. On the 12 years old size, that's sort of the age where the kid is going to outgrow the speed of it, not necessarily the size, and they'll just be ready to move up to something that goes faster and is a bigger full-size buggy. But this go-kart is going to fit any adult all the way up to about 6'1", 6'2". Now, once you get to that height, these bars right here, your knees are going to be bent up and you're going to start banging your shins around. So even somebody taller than that can get in it, but it's not going to be a comfortable ride anymore. Ground clearance on this kart is about 3 inches. You do have this really nice solid sprocket guard here. So if you do end up running into a stump or a rock, you're not going to rip your sprocket and your brake rotor off. This doesn't seem like a lot looking at it here, but you've got to think, generally speaking, the tires are going to be up at the level of whatever the ground is at the same time. So that is also going to be lifted up. The only time we really see a problem is when kids haven't learned how to avoid obstacles. They'll run straight over a tree stump or they'll run straight into a big boulder. Even then, it typically just glances off to the side and just keeps on running.